My husband turned 60 this year, and that is quite a big birthday, and he's also pretty hard to buy for. He never really wants anything for Christmas or for his birthday, but the only thing that he wanted this year was a party. And the one stipulation was that I wasn't able to cook. Wait, what? Yeah, he wanted me to be a guest at the party, so we put together a nice little compromise instead. I'll show you what I did. So the first order of business is to get my vegetable garden back in shape. Being away this summer and with the drought that we've had here in LA, it's really kind of a mess. And I find that these kinds of dirty jobs are best tackled at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. Now, the newly married me would have started this project the weekend of the party. But 22 years in, I've decided that is not the way to do it. You do the hardest things first, and then you end up with the easiest things and the more fun things the day of the party. Sort of thinking the bar is going to have to go back here because people will make their way through this alley for dinner around the house, but this is like the biggest area. So I'm thinking of putting a table here for a bar, and then that way people can kind of line up, get drinks. I secretly have my eye on this little garden shed because as serviceable as it is to put all the garden things in, wouldn't it make like the most amazing bar of some kind? I'm not exactly sure what it might look like, but if I could put like a, I don't know, like a sink and like shelves where people could serve themselves drinks, then when we wanted the bar to be open, we just open this up. I don't know. I'm still like dreaming about that. Let me know in the comments what you think. Garden shed or pop-up bar? We are also in the process of painting the exterior of our house, which is why it looks like this. They say it's going to be done in time for the party, but it is making me a little bit nervous. Another thing I decided to do today, because I'm doing all the dirty jobs 2 weeks out, is deal with all of these flower arrangements. So I decided to do succulents instead of flower arrangements for the tables when I saw these really cute little pots at Trader Joe's that were in these gorgeous little ceramic containers for $8.99. So I figured that would be cheaper than doing cut flowers, and they would also last longer. So I'm just gonna keep them out here in our backyard and water them once a week or so to keep them alive. And then all I have to do the day of is pop them in their little containers and put them on the table. That sounds a lot easier than arranging cut flowers, which in this LA heat might actually die. I'm just gonna stack these in my garage, and then all I have to do next time is just replace the succulents. Then I'm also washing down all of these chairs and lanterns because we had these chairs, we bought them years ago at IKEA. I painted them black because they were great in the vegetable garden for when we had little kids coming to the party. They were like the perfect little chair with a cushion, but now those little kids are getting too big for these chairs. So instead, I use them to put these lanterns on, because it gives them height. So it's so dark out in that vegetable garden that I thought I would just put those on the chairs and put them in the far corners of the garden just to lift them up a little bit. So I'm going to do a test run tonight and we'll see what that looks like. They're just the kinds of jobs that you want to do 2 to 3 weeks out. You do not want to be doing this the day of the party. So I am planning ahead 1 week before our party, and I'm really trying to figure out the outdoor lighting. I was going to try to hang these little lanterns. I think they're super cute. They come on a string, and I thought that might actually add a lot of light. So these lanterns are a good weight. So they're made out of copper, and then they have these, Edison bulbs there. And so I was a little bit afraid how I was going to hang them, but luckily they come with these little hooks. So I figured if I just hung them from the trees, that might actually add a little bit of light. I thought they were solar powered, and then I thought they were battery operated, but actually it's something even more interesting. They are USB powered. So you charge your portable charger, and then once it's full, you then come down here to this thing and plug it in. So my husband and I are a little skeptical. We don't know how this is gonna work, so we are testing it tonight. I am all about trial runs when it comes to entertaining. You don't want to be surprised the day of the party. You're all dressed, running around, trying to make sure the lights are working. It's always good to do it in advance, just to make sure that it's all systems go when you need to do it for real. Then we also bought some of these solar lights. So they're charging at the moment. We just sort of put them in the sunniest parts of the garden. So it's early morning here, so there's not much sun, but I'm hoping these panels suck up the sun and then I can use them as little spotlights in the trees. See, each one of these little fruit trees has its own bed. And so I thought at night having them project up might give light to this side of the garden. And then I have lanterns here that I think I'll put down on the ground, sort of lighting the path to where the tables are gonna be. And hopefully that's gonna be enough light. I don't know. We will see. It's getting dusky. And let's see how these lanterns are looking. Pretty good. I think I might need to trim this tree a bit so it dangles. But yeah, I think that this is gonna work out perfectly. And I think this will be so pretty as people come in to be greeted with these little fairy lights. I just think they're so sweet. It sort of frames the area too and creates kind of like a nice party atmosphere. Wow, these are looking really good. Look at the solar lights. Aren't those awesome? Wow. These are pretty impressive. They do add just a little bit of light. I don't know if it's like illuminating someone's way, but at least you can see there's bushes there. I've got 6 days before the party and I wanted to start to organize all of my kind of decor elements that are going to go into the table. So we're having 30 guests. I needed to rent some tables. And when I went to the website of the rental company, I found these. Aren't these fantastic? These are these wonderful farmhouse tables. So the one that I actually have the room for is this one. I just thought that would add so much more charm. I mean, you could do a lot of these like, you know, just the traditional 6-foot rental table and then get a cloth, and then the cloth is kind of that polyester stuff, which I'm not the hugest fan of. I'd rather have the real wood. I mean, why not, right? It's so much prettier. I don't have room for this one, but I really love the look of that one, but I do have room for this one. So I could have at least 8 people per table, and then we were gonna put them all together in one long, happy banquet. My husband, he really turned me on to that. I used to do like separate round tables of 10 or 8, but then people don't really mix and match. I think there's something really fun about everybody being at the same table. Once I settled on the tables, I didn't want to do those like white plastic chairs, so I had to find something that was going to go with the tables, and I found these. They have all of these different styles, but I think with that farmhouse table, something like this would be great. So I am going to rent these little wooden ones. I thought that would just be so cute. The painters are still working. They've got 5 days to get this all wrapped up. They say they're gonna be done. A few days before, I like to get the linens all figured out so I can bring them to the dry cleaner. But while we're on the topic of the table, this is what I was going to do with that gorgeous wooden table, is just have runners like this. These are, I think they're 108, which is perfect for the 96-inch table, right? And I just love the sort of rustic woven look. I didn't have enough napkins, so I had to buy some napkins, but I went with these little chambray oversized napkins. Anytime I'm buying napkins, I always look for 18 by 18 because I think that's the best size, and set of 12 because you just get so much more for paying so much less. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to set this whole table up. But in the meantime, just keep this in mind. So I invested years ago in all of these 6-foot rental tables that you get at Home Depot. This one has been out in the garden, so it's really dirty, but I will hose it off and give it a scrub. I have 3 of these, and what's great about it is I actually had cloths made to fit them. I'll show you what I mean. That way I always have a great draped tablecloth to throw over it. And then we were just trying to see if this thing would be big enough. We're gonna put all of our wine in there, all of the sort of rosé and white wine, or anything that needs to be chilled will be in there filled with ice. Okay, so these are these fabulous tablecloths that I had made a few years ago for those tables. I think I did it for my sister's baby shower, and I have used them ever since. That was 11 years ago, and they always come in handy. I love these patterns. They're from my dad's fabric line. I'm not sure if this one is still in production, but I could ask him and put it in the description if you guys are interested. I just love it because I think it's really pretty in the garden. So this one we're gonna use for the bar. I'll show you what I mean. And I better shut that bottom door, otherwise George is going to go after the painters. He is not happy with the painters. Okay, so let me just show you what this looks like. See how cute that is? It totally fits the table. And when I put the wine bucket on top, it really looks put together. I think the thing to do, if you're gonna do this yourself at home, and you have your favorite fabric, get an outdoor fabric. So this is actually sunbrella fabric, so it's made to be outdoors. I think the thing that is really great about these tablecloths is that they're fitted. So see how the seam runs this way? Then they put a complementary fabric right there in the pleat. So as it hangs, it pleats, which I think just finishes it off. Because a lot of times when you do a tablecloth like this, you see the legs of the table, and I just hate that look. So this way I had it made and it's always ready to go. One of the reasons why I really love that fabric pattern is because it matches really well with all of this beautiful decorative trellis and planters. So see how this color, it's like that nice pretty Luxembourg green. It just like works so well. We typically leave these outside, so look what a mess this is. I have to throw this in the wash, but that will just spiff right up. And then I have these that I'm going to use as little accent pillows. A friend of mine who actually used to work for my dad, who's a close family friend, had these made with the fabric as well. And then she was updating her outdoor furniture and didn't need these anymore, so she gave them to me knowing that I have this pattern. So I just feel like I just got a gift from the universe. Look at this. These are going to be great. I'm going to have to power wash these benches. They're such a mess. Look at that. I got some work ahead of me. All right, now, because it's the beginning of the week, I have created my punch list. I'm a big fan of a punch list that you put on there for anything you think about that has to be done. And then you assign it a priority. So A being the most important, you have to do that in the next day or two. B being secondary, and C being third, and so on. This was a technique that I actually learned from my old boss at King Community, and it is flawless. It's my new system that just really works. And this isn't just for parties. This is a system that can work with really any to-do list. Give it a try. All right, you guys, this is real life. This is where all of this stuff is being stored at the moment, because I gave away my office during the pandemic where I had all these awesome shelves, and now I have to just kind of shove everything in here, but it definitely needs to be reorganized. What a mess. All right, I'm looking for the salad bowls. So I've got this one, which those will work. This one's pretty. I think it's too shallow though for salad, so maybe we'll put a little appetizer or something on that. Then I have this one. I need 4, so I think I'm gonna just make it. Ah yes, here is the other one. Okay, so I have 4 salad bowls. That is good news. There we go. That's a little bit better. A little bit more organization in there. Now I need to do the top. We'll save that for another day. All right, so I have the salad bowls, but now I need some sort of serving utensils. So here's another bit of a chaotic mess, but it's a system that works for me. Okay, let's see. These are all of these different pieces that I have found in my travels, in flea markets. I just find they are the best places to find these serving things. So let's see. We just need to make sure they match. All right, we got one. There we go. Oh, this is fun. These silver pieces. These were wedding gifts someone gave us. They came from the Southwest. I love them. I think they would be pretty too. So we'll use those for one of the other bowls. These were a gift from my friend Freddie in France. I thought those were beautiful. We'll use those. I actually don't like to have everything all matchy-matchy. I think there's something so homey when things kind of relate to each other, but they're not matching. The pieces can match, but all of them don't need to be the same. I think it just gives everything a lot more character. See, and so when we come over here, with our bowls, you can just kind of try them on for size. So like this one will get that one. And then the day of the party, I will actually match each bowl with its serving piece, and we're gonna put it all here on the table. So all we have to do is grab one, throw in the greens, and go. All right, so when people sit down at the table, we're gonna start with the gazpacho in these glasses. But then I also wanted to serve just some of that roasted shrimp. In fact, I have a video on my channel that shows the yellow gazpacho, and I actually did it as shooters and then put the shrimp on the rim, but that just felt a little fussy for this. So I think I might just roast all the shrimp and put them in these little bowls and do 1 or 2 per table. But I think I need at least 2 more vessels. So let's see, I have these 2. Right? These I got at Sur La Table years ago. I have this one. that I actually brought home in a knapsack from Portugal. I have a lot of these pottery pieces that I have just collected in my travels over the years. And my husband always makes fun of me because he's like, you are not bringing that on the plane. And I'm like, oh yeah, watch me. I do it. Look how cute this is with a little fish. I love this one. This one, yeah, I got this one in Portugal too. This was before the TSA. Like, you probably couldn't do this now, but 20 years ago you could. And I would just pack all of this stuff in knapsacks and bring it home. And I'm so happy I did, because now I have all these pieces to entertain with. Then to serve the paella, normally it's fun to get up, take your plate, and go serve yourself out of the big pan. But because we're gonna be kind of squeezed in our seats, I don't think anybody should get up because it might make a bit of a chaotic mess. So I thought what would be better is to just serve the paella on large platters and put a big platter at each table. So I figured we could have this one, this one, this one, which is maybe a little small. It says ham on it, but I think it's gonna be dark and there'll be all the rice and chicken. No one I think is gonna notice that. And then this one, maybe I'll put two on that table. And then I have this huge one. So I think between all of those, that will probably work. I know it looks like a bit of a hodgepodge, but I find that when you have things that are kind of mismatched like this, I just think it looks more homey than doing everything white and kind of predictable. I think using pieces like this that just have wonderful soul to them just adds a lot of soul to the party. Now that I have dragged this all out of the garage, I now need to wash them and clean them and put them somewhere. It's a good thing this wasn't a surprise party. Can you imagine trying to pull that off? It worked. And then for the appetizers, I'm gonna do 2 big cheese boards and then maybe a little charcuterie board here. And I haven't decided yet, but something is gonna go in here and something's gonna go on top of that. And I just think all the wood will be pretty out in the garden. I'm really hoping that I have a few fig leaves that are not going to get all dried up. See, look at our poor fig tree. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. But maybe there'll be a few good ones I can use for my cheese board. Like that one, that looks pretty good. Just hold on till Saturday. This stuff is really good for silver, silver plate, platinum, copper, gold, even diamonds. I don't have any diamonds, but I do have some silver that needed to be polished. And I'm just amazed at how bright and cheery it makes it. It really gets all the detail. Look at that, it's pretty amazing. Okay, now it's all gonna go into this little bath of this hot soapy water. This is something I definitely get done a few days before the party because it's really tedious and you can totally get it out of the way ahead of time and you'll be so happy you did. Good morning. It is now Tuesday morning with 5 days before the party, and I usually shoot my YouTube videos on Tuesday mornings, but I was going to take an hour or so just to figure out the table settings because if something's missing, I want to make sure I have enough time to get it done. I have everything laid out on a towel here, ready to go. I have these fabulous little candle holders, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. I found these actually at our local flea market. My daughter loves to go there for the t-shirts and the old jeans. It's not exactly like the Brocants in France. It's more of like a flea market. I found these for 12 bucks, these little wooden candle holders, which are going to match the other ones I have for the tables. I just think they're cool because they're wood, and I thought that they might kind of go with the scheme we have going here. So then I got all of these fabulous candles. I have to show you how great they are. They are battery operated and they flicker, and the color is this beautiful warm white. So when we have big parties, I like to do a combination of battery operated candles and real candles, only because I am always afraid that some candle is going to be left on. And when you have the big candles and people are kind of all over parts of the yard, I'm just afraid that someone's going to tip something over and it's going to start a fire. And here in California, we have so much drought right now. Everything is so dry that I just don't really want to take the chance. And these battery operated candles look so realistic. But then I'm also going to do some small votives of just citronella candles just to keep the mosquitoes away. I want to make sure we don't have any uninvited guests. So because we are going to have 4 tables, I'm going to just put together one so we can kind of see what it's going to look like. And I just find the easiest way to do this is just on the floor. Okay, and then each table in the center is going to get one of these wooden candle holders. And then in the candle holders, I'm going to be using these 3D flickering flameless LED candle lights. See how realistic they look? And that way you don't have to worry about anything dripping or getting blown out from the wind. They're always just going to look great like that. These candles, they open at the bottom and that's where you put the battery. The box says AA. But see, the thing that fits is the AAA. not the AA. That's so bizarre. This would not have been good to test this out an hour before the party because that would have put me in a panic. All right, then you just screw on the bottom and press this little button. Ta-da! Might be hard to see in the daylight, but that is a beautiful flickering flame. See, from a distance and at night, that's gonna look so real. But to really sell it, we need one more thing. To be really authentic, we need our glass hurricane. There we go. Now, it does go over the hurricane, which is not my ideal scenario, and usually with a real candle, it would flicker down. But I do think it's still pretty like that, and I just like the glass. I don't know, maybe we take it without the hurricane. Let's see, is that better? It just looks so lonely. I'm gonna use the short hurricane. There we go. Okay, then I was going to use these on these clear plates just to give them a place to sort of rest and to sell it a little bit from a distance that they could maybe be real. There you go. All right, so that's the lighting. I'm really glad I did not go for cut flowers because it is going to be crazy hot this week. And my little succulents are just doing so well. They couldn't be happier. So let's see, let's take 2 and put them in place. So these little containers are all different colors, but I actually think at night you won't really notice that. I kind of like that they have these little browned spots in the succulent because I think that's gonna look really pretty with the candlesticks. Let's find out, shall we? So then I would put the greenery like that in between the candle. All right, now that I think is looking nice. Then we could come over here and just for size, try one of these platters. Probably gonna have to do it like that. Okay, so let's see what the place setting would look like. So remember, this is gonna be the table here. So let's put 2 plates just to get the sense. Let's see. Okay, yeah. And then I like to have the little trim showing downward. I think that's pretty. And see, I just love that combination of that rustic blue chambray, the earthy terracotta, those gorgeous succulents. I feel like it's all working together. Then what I was thinking is when people come to the table that we would have the gazpacho soup all served and ready to go. So it could be like waiting on people's plates like that. I'm trying to make the yellow gazpacho soup that's actually on my blog because I thought the yellow against this color would be really dramatic with a garnish of some cucumber and radish and maybe a little dill. I just thought that would be so pretty. The only thing is, I don't know if I can get the yellow tomatoes because it's getting a little bit late in the season, but I did go to my local grocery store. I told them what I was doing and that I was looking for 20 yellow tomatoes, those beautiful heirloom tomatoes. And depending on the store, sometimes they'll make a special order for you. So I went in and I asked him if I could do that. And he said, well, actually 20 yellow tomatoes would be about a box. We're placing our order this morning. Let me see if I can get them for you. So I was like, great. If I can't get it, then I'm just gonna do red gazpacho, but wouldn't the yellow be pretty? Anytime you're looking for inspiration for color schemes for tablescapes, I say look to the color wheel because the colors that are opposite from each other on the wheel tend to go together really well. That's why I think that yellow gazpacho will be so pretty against the blue. You can already see it a little bit with the candles. It just seems to work together. So I saved these old French lemonade bottles and filled them with water because they make for great carafes. And this one's kind of skinny. Maybe you could just squeeze in there. Let's see, would that work? And plus it is going to be so hot that I think people will appreciate having water at the table and not waiting for someone to come around and fill their glass. I also have these beautiful terracotta pitchers, which I thought could be pretty too, but they might be too big. I don't know. I've got a lot going on this table now. Could you even squeeze it in? Figuring 2 carafes per table like this? I don't know. That might be a bit much. It's starting to look like the church bazaar. Tableware for sale. I don't know. I think, and plus don't forget, I have my little citronella votives coming in. I'd like to get at least maybe 6, little grouping of 6 somewhere in and around. I don't think there's room for this, but there might be room for the carafes. Even if I could scare up 4 of them and just do at least 1 at the table, I think I have 4. Then the other thing we have for lighting are these, although they have sat in these boxes because the painters, we cannot hang them up. So it's gonna be kind of like a 11th hour game day decision whether we have them or not. I love them, I think they're great. Strung from the house to the office would be really pretty. My husband says it's easy. He says all you do is tack it up. So let's see if that's what it really entails. But he's pretty bullish on it and he really loves them. And so it is his birthday. So let's try to make that come true. And then I have little Christmas tree lights coming for these two trees. So once they get pushed back, we can string those. This is normally where we park our cars. We're gonna park everything on the street. So this whole thing is gonna be open, which I think will be really nice. This used to be all grass when we bought this house. And can you imagine the water bill if it was? So we just replaced it all with gravel and it's really nicely drought tolerant. This is the best news. I got the yellow tomatoes. They had them. Just look at these beauties. They are gorgeous. So we are going to be able to have our yellow gazpacho soup. Yay. And then I also picked up the dry cleaning of the tablecloths. So that we got done too. Anytime you get a tablecloth dry cleaned, ask if they'll put it on a hanger for you. That way you can just hang it up in your front hall closet and it keeps them nice and neat. All right, so I am ticking things off the to-do list left and right. Things are coming together. So tomorrow morning is the big day. Tomorrow, all of the tables and the chairs and everything I've rented is supposed to arrive at 9 a.m. So that, I think, is when the real frenzy is going to begin. And I still need to finish my video for this week. I need to edit it. So I'm doing a shrimp scampi video, which is really great, but I haven't edited yet. So I gotta do that and get ready for the parties. Oh, and I also have to make the gazpacho soup and prep a few appetizers. Oh, I forgot the mango chutney. Yes, in the garage. Okay, it's Friday morning, the day before the party. And before all of our chairs and tables arrive, it's time to hang these little bulb lights. Let's see what that's gonna look like. So we have about 200 feet of them and we are gonna hang them up above. My husband is getting up on a ladder. We have these little hooks. So I think they're just gonna drill into the siding and then we'll always have them and then they're gonna hook on there. So I think that's going to provide a lot of light and look really charming once it gets dark out. So we shall see. The only thing is when these tables and chairs arrive, there might have to be a plan B because this is quite a tight little space. And if they don't fit in there, we gotta come up with plan Bs. Okay, so this may have to be plan B. We've been storing furniture out here while we're painting, but I could see it all fitting back here, which would be lovely. There's an awning on the back of the house. That could be nice. And then we'd have to move this furniture and put it out in the yard. Look at our poor yard because of the drought. Oh my gosh. And then just put a big table here. We could do that. I don't know. I think there's something fun though about being in between the houses. It feels kind of cozier, but this could be roomier. And roomier is never a bad idea. And then this little foursome of furniture is going to go in the front yard by the paella so people can have drinks and watch, see what's going on. And then I bought these gorgeous little olive trees from Trader Joe's. Aren't they fab? And then I had these pots. I just put them in. It's so hot now that these are like the only arrangements aside from our succulents that are gonna be used for table decorations. Okay, the painters are here and they're scraping off all this tape down to the wire. Okay, there's a lot of math going on with all of that bulb figuring outing, which is not my forte. So I thought I would come in here where I'm most comfortable in the kitchen to show you my Trader Joe's haul. So whenever it comes to entertaining, I think you choose where to spend your time and your money. And for us, this party, I really wanted to spend the time and the money just on the decor and creating kind of a really nice environment. Then the paella man, because you need a nice main course, and I just didn't want to be making all kinds of things that would suck me down a rabbit hole. The cocktail hour, I think people are just happy to be together and they're sort of arriving at different times. I think it's important to have appetizers that you can set and forget, but then I also am a firm believer in past hors d'oeuvres. There's nothing more gracious than to be at a party chatting away and someone arrives with a tray of hot hors d'oeuvres. And the hot hors d'oeuvres don't need to be expensive if you go to Trader Joe's and gussy them up. All right, so here's what I got. Veggie spring rolls. These are totally delicious. You can pop them in the air fryer and then I serve them with some sweet chili sauce. You know the kind, you also get it at Trader Joe's. This little gem, I love this stuff. And if you don't have a Trader Joe's near you, most major grocery stores will sell veggie spring rolls and you can always get sweet chili paste. Mac and cheese bowls. So we are gonna have a few kids at the party, so I thought this would make them happy. But then I wanted to have it with some sort of interesting sauce, which would be optional. The kids don't need to have the sauce, but the grown-ups might like it. Italian hot pepper sauce. If you don't like spicy things, you might not be such a fan, but it pairs really well with the decadence of the gooey mac and cheese. So it's a great kind of 1-2 punch. So this and this. Number 3, these, the mini veggie samosas. Have you guys tried these? These are delicious. And then I was gonna make a little yogurt sauce to go with this. Some shredded cucumber, some chopped cilantro, a little bit of cumin. I didn't get these at Trader Joe's. I got these at my regular grocery store, but you can find a similar thing at Trader Joe's, which are these waffle fries. So here's what I do. I make my delicious sour cream and onion dip. I make that homemade, pop it in the fridge, and then I serve it with these. And if you put these in the air fryer, they are like so fantastic with that sauce. And I thought the kids might like these too. If they don't eat the dip, at least they'll eat the fries. Another thing that I am a fan of whenever you're entertaining is the day before, get Command Central set up. So this is our dining table in the kitchen, and this is our Command Central for right now. And then I also like to figure out all the platters that these hot hors d'oeuvres are gonna go on and then label them with Post-its. Because I can't tell you how many times I've done this without the Post-its, only to realize the day of the party, what was this supposed to be for? So this way there's no stress, there's no flustering. And the other tip is anybody who walks through this kitchen, my husband, the kids, they know exactly what platter goes with what. And it just lessens a lot of the, what's this for? Where should I put this? Everybody knows what to do. And the other thing I like to buy at Trader Joe's is their frozen shrimp. So I'm going to be roasting these and serving them chilled with the gazpacho soup. And I like to buy them at Trader Joe's because I think you get a great price for 21 to 30 shrimp per bag. And then finally for the salad, I got these pre-washed greens. They're all ready to go. They're assorted. And then along with the pre-washed greens, I'm going to add a few handfuls of this shredded green and red cabbage because it looks really pretty sort of tossed in. And then I'm also going to add some of these Persian cucumbers. So because they're so small, I can just kind of slice them on the diagonal and throw those in. And I've also just dragged out all the cheese knives for the cheese boards. All of my crackers are here just because there's no room in the cabinet. So we're just gonna keep them right out here. I got some delicious candied walnuts for the cheese boards, some Spanish almonds, fig jam. Oh, and then my favorite this time of year is this stuff. The sweet heat jalapeno preserves, which is so great with some goat cheese and some crackers. So we'll do that. And then later today, I am going to make this gazpacho with our fabulous yellow tomatoes. I mean, look at that. Is that a beauty? Ah, I cannot wait to blend them up. Yay. Another thing I'm doing today is organizing my garage fridge. So we have all of the wine and the Cremant in there. So Cremant is like a French sparkling wine. And then I've put all of my frozen shrimp in the fridge because you do want it to defrost before you go and roast it. And I'm gonna be roasting that tomorrow morning. So this should be all ready to go. And then I have left this huge area between the bottom shelf and the top shelf because this is where the cake needs to go. And it is a tall 25-inch masterpiece. So I'm hoping that the depth is going to be okay and it's going to fit in here, but that again we will find out tomorrow. And then here I like to keep everything that's for appetizers on the same shelf just because it makes running to the fridge so much easier when you can say grab everything on the top shelf, kids, let's go. All right, it's hard to see, but this is amazing. They're all hung. This looks so fabulous. I absolutely love it. Oh, I hope these tables and chairs can fit here because this is going to be so fun. Okay, for now, I'm going to put a pause on the party prep and I need to get back to editing my video that posts tomorrow. My shrimp scampi. It's a really delicious, yummy weeknight meal. And I'm working with my new cameras here, which are looking pretty good. So I've just laid out all the audio, but I have put none of the visuals in. So this is going to take me a few hours. Wish me luck. Okay, now it's time to tackle the gazpacho. I have all of my beautiful tomatoes washed. I've got my blender fired up, and these are the glasses that I'm going to be serving it in. So basically what I did is figured out how much each glass would hold by putting some water in it. I think that's a great way to determine how much quantity you need for a party. So it holds just under a cup. We are having 32 guests, so I need 32 cups of soup. To make this easier to serve, I found these at Smart & Final. These are 1 gallon pitchers because I figured I could just put the soup in here and then pour it in here. Because otherwise I think ladling the soup into these glasses is gonna take forever. And this way we can just pour and go. And these are 1 gallon containers, which are 16 cups. And 16 times 2 is 32 cups. So all I have to do is make enough gazpacho to fill these 2 pitchers. So I basically had to make the gazpacho soup 8 times. I know that sounds tedious, but I will say it's kind of just like making a big veggie smoothie. Everything just gets chopped up and put in the blender. My other tip for something like this, when you're making a recipe in large quantities, you're better off just making it 1 or 2 times. I would not triple, quadruple the recipe, because chances are you end up forgetting to double or triple something, and then the whole recipe is out of line. So I just find it's better to just do it 1 batch at a time. Better late than never. The tables did finally arrive later in the afternoon. We lined them all up just to find out that, yeah, this was going to be a tight squeeze. How are we going to make this work? Fits, but it's going to be tight. But we couldn't really make a decision until we had the chairs in place. All right, well, all of the tables and chairs are in place. And I have to say, I think this is a little too tight. Because we have the stair here. So this has to be skewed so that people can actually get in there. I am kind of loving half of this though for Thanksgiving. I think this is good for Thanksgiving. But now what do I do? Plan B. I don't think it's gonna fit here. I don't think plan B has enough space. It's not long enough. I don't want to be on the grass. That doesn't look like fun. Bunch of mosquitoes. The only other idea, let's take a look, is over here. Because see, the other problem is that there are 4 chairs on each side, which I just think is too tight. I mean, it is like shoulder to shoulder. And with this heat, I don't know. I don't know if people are going to want to be shoulder to shoulder. So let's go over here. I wonder if we set something up like here. Look at how much space there is. Like maybe an L shape here of tables and an L shape here of tables. I know Philippe really wants everybody at one table. There is something really nice about that. My heart is breaking because I love this idea. Sometimes when you are entertaining, you have got to be able to quickly change the plan for the comfort of the guests. And I think that this is just too tight of a squeeze. I mean, the other thing we could do is just space the tables out. So 1 table and have 2 or 3 feet in between each one, but I don't know. I don't think that's as good. All right, I'm gonna go see what Philippe thinks about my plan C. He didn't go for that. I get what he's talking about. You just hear the traffic, and that's not very nice. So, all right, we are gonna try to make this squeezy alley work, but I think what we're gonna do is wait till tomorrow morning when it's nice and cool, because it's about 105 at the moment. And I think what we're gonna do is just spread the tables out so they have a few feet in between. That way, at least we're all together, but we're not all squeezed together. So hopefully that'll work. All right, wait a second. I had another idea. Have you ever seen that movie Vatel with Gerard Depardieu? It's a French movie. And if you've seen that movie, I think you'll share the humor. If you haven't seen that movie, you have to go watch it. Because I think whenever anybody entertains and you get into the throes of a creative pursuit, you kind of turn into Vatel. And that's me right now. I can't rest until I figure these tables out. All right, I had an idea, and I kind of want to see if this is going to work. Here's my idea. I was thinking I could sort of cheat the width of the space by turning the tables on the diagonal a little bit. So let me show you what I mean. All right, so I just wrestled with this one, and see how this is going to be so much better when you just have 3 chairs on each side and 1 at the head. But this is going to necessitate having a lot more room in between the tables. But see, that's a lot roomier. People can actually get in and out, and the servers will be able to clear the plates. Uh-oh, what is that? A little lemon falling from the sky. So I guess the question is can I swivel and pivot all these other tables? Okay, it's kind of a miracle, but it worked. They all fit. Doing it on an angle is so much better because now we have room in between each seat. People can get up and walk around the table if they need to. The servers can come and clear the plates, but let me just make sure all of these tables have this kind of mobility. I also think putting them on the diagonal allows for these chairs not to be back to back. So they're just askewed a little bit, so no one's sitting like right back to back and they can't move their chair out. I am so glad that we tried this because I knew there had to be a way. And then these are the cute little seat cushions. And I will put those all on tomorrow. I also think seating like this, where you're isolating 8 people at a time, it's really better for conversation flow, because when you sit down at a table like this, you're sort of responsible with all these other people for keeping the conversation going. When you're at a big, long table, it's hard to know kind of what you're responsible for. I know that sounds like a strange thing, but it's easy for people when I think they're at a big, long table to kind of just talk to the person next to them. Where this, you kind of have a much better crosstalk. You feel part of a group. I think it's easier to serve too, because we can put the 2 waters, the 2 shrimps, the salad bowl. It just becomes a lot more, I don't know, festive and fun. We're still all together, but yet we have these little groups. Which I think is just going to be so much better for the heat that we're dealing with. All right. I can sleep now tonight knowing that this is figured out. And the crazy thing is, it actually feels more spacious. I don't know why. It was a tight squeeze, but having the tables this way, this area just feels bigger. I can't wait to see what these lights look like. I'd have to turn it on tonight just to get a sense, just to do a light check. I think lighting can either make or break the party. If it's not lit enough, you feel kind of strange sitting in the dark, and I don't know, it feels kind of gloomy and sad. And if it's overly lit, I think that can sometimes be worse. Wow, I just lit those little light bulbs and they look really pretty. This table I'm testing out because I think that's the table we're going to use for the cake. So we've got this big cake and we can't put a candle in it because of the design of it. So I thought I would just try out these crazy like sparkler candles. Maybe we just put the cake there. It's gonna be dark. Philippe will be sitting here. I'll probably be there. And then we'll get these things going and see what it looks like. But I kind of want to test it. I have about 6 of them, just to make sure that it's not going to cause such a crazy firestorm that that's actually going to get dangerous with the cake and melt it. But so far so good. I love the little bulbs. I think these look really cute. And as it just gets darker, they'll be prettier and prettier. Okay, we found a way to dim these lights because it was looking like a Christmas tree lot. It was too bright. So I wanted to just see what the candles would look like, and it is so much better dimmed. So it's this crazy app thing that you have to actually download to dim these things, but they do dim. And I am so happy Philippe figured that out. Good morning, it's party day. And I was up so late last night wrestling with those tables and trying to get the lighting right that I didn't have time to finish the video. So it's now about 6 a.m. I'm up early to finish my video so that I can upload it for you guys. But if I don't get to the blog post today, you know why. Every time I'm hosting a party for more than 20 people, I like to rent the glassware and the dishes because I just don't have enough place settings for 32. And it ends up being easier too because you don't have to actually wash all the dishes. You just rinse them and put them back in the crates. Okay, and the tables have survived overnight. This is where I'm actually gonna put the birthday cake. So last night I had to test these candles just to make sure they weren't going to burn the house down. They're these crazy little like candle sparkler things. I wanted something festive, at least for when the cake arrives. So I have these little votives. So if you get the same, I suggest putting it in like a votive like this with gravel, some kind of rock or something that will just hold it up, and then you put it in like this. And we lit them just to see what it looked like, and they're super awesome. So I'm excited that we have a few more that we will use for when the cake arrives. But the cake should be here any minute. So let me tell you about this cake that I ordered. It is called a pièce montée, and they're typically served at weddings and baptisms and things like that. We actually had one for our wedding, and for my husband's 60th birthday, he really wanted one as his cake. So I was like, okay, it's been about 20 plus years since we've had one. I think it's time to revisit this classic. There are a few birthdays in life where you need a spectacular show-stopping cake, and I would say 60 is probably one of those birthdays. So to track down this beautiful cake here in LA, I could only think of one bakery, Pichun. They're our local French bakery, and they are known for their bread, their croissants, and of course, their incredible pastries. And I found out not only do they make it, they're actually really known for making this cake. So it was the match made in heaven. But any of you local Francophiles here in LA, if you don't know of this bakery, you have to go check it out. It is really fantastic. And they have 2 locations. I think before it gets too hot, I should tie on all of the little cushions. It's 10 in the morning and it's already hot. Imagine what this is gonna look like at 2 o'clock. All right, here we go. This is a great job for the kids. I'll go get them. Hey, the cake is here. Look at this masterpiece. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. I think he's going to absolutely love that. Okay, I'll show you where it goes. The best thing is, it is going to fit right in our little designated spot. Amazing. Let's just make sure the door will shut. Oh, yes! Next, it's time to do all of the garnishes for our gazpacho. So I've got the radishes in here. I've got all my cucumbers cut. And then I'm also preparing the shrimp, so tossing it in the marinade, roasting the shrimp. I'm doing about a bag at a time, and then allowing it to cool. And then once it is cool, I then am popping it in the serving bowls so it's all ready to go, and then I will just place it in the fridge until it's ready to serve. One little clinker, I ran out of onions. I was in an onion frenzy with all of my gazpacho soup, so that just means we're not going to be able to make the sour cream and onion dip. I wonder if it would be good with just a sour cream dip with waffle fries. I don't know if we have time, but I don't think anybody's gonna starve. So if we have to skip it, we just have to pivot. It's time to now get the table set, because now that the sun has gone down, I think I need to attack that. All right, I'm not actually gonna do all the plates and silverware and whatnot. I'm just gonna get all the decor items done, because then when the helpers arrive, they can set the tables, and that will be a huge help. Yeah, this runner wasn't long enough. So if you order them, make sure you order the I think it's 108 or 106. I think I just ordered the 96. That's okay. It'll be dark and the lights will be twinkling, and I don't think anybody's gonna notice. But see, this is kind of what I had in mind. Sometimes you just have to learn how to pivot and live with it. Anything looks good when it's dark and there's candles flickering, so I don't think anybody's gonna notice. All right, so let's get our hurricane set and we can clean off these tables. All right, so see, I've got my bar, got my bucket for wine, champagne, ice bucket. I'm gonna put these out for all the glasses, you know, like drinking glasses, soda glasses in here. And then I've got my little ice bucket ready for the ice in there. So it's just an easy thing to fill up those glasses. This can be for the wine glasses and the champagne. I always think there's something festive about having a bunch of glasses on a tray when people come. And then this guy really looked like he wanted to join the party. He is a little frog paperweight, and he is going to hold down the cocktail napkins. And you can get creative when you find little things in your house that you think might want to join the party. Like this guy. And then I put these little olive trees right here, which I thought would be pretty against the lanterns. So I think this will be pretty once the sun decides to set. Then it will not be so blazing. But then I think it just makes more sense for people to come through here for dinner. My husband is going to move his car. And then I've set up these 2 tables here. So one is going to be for all the servers. So we're going to have wine, dessert plates, anything that they need. And then Virginio, the paella man, is going to need his table. So that's where these 2 cloths ended up. So I think that's good. And then I just think when the lights are flickering, it's sort of a gracious entry for people to come through here We have got to redo this. Is this just not the worst? Every time I cross it, it drives me crazy. But if we want to put in a pool someday, I don't know if we're ever going to do that, but we are going to have to demo it then. So we're thinking, why demo it now, put in the slate, and then have to demo it later. So we are just sort of stuck with that. But that's okay. It'll be dark. And then people will come through here. I think that'll be really pretty. All right. Maybe what I should do is just create one table setting. So when the helpers arrive, they know what to do. When you have a lot of things happening at once and you're entertaining, if you have people coming to help you, and it doesn't have to be people you've hired, it can be like your sister, your brother, your kids. If you just show them one and say, repeat and go at it, people like a model. So there you go. There's the model. And then this might be a little extra, but I'm telling you, not only does it organize me, people appreciate it. They want to know what the plan is. So I always type up the plan. I put what time everything is happening, what's happening. I put the big things in bold as far as when we're serving things. And that way everybody has a copy and we know exactly what's happening. This is also a great idea for Thanksgiving too, or any major holiday. Okay, the last thing I need to do before I jump in the shower is just to put the rest of the flameless candles in the lanterns in the vegetable garden. I don't know, I get real control freaky when it comes to the decor because that's sometimes things that people can't help you with because they don't know what was in your mind. So I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna jump in the shower. All right. Then I took all the platters out and put them on the service table for Virginio, and then Virginio arrived. That's quite a large pan you got there. That is amazing. What was so great about this idea is he comes with everything he needs. So I didn't need to do a thing, but give him the space. And then he brought everything he was going to need to whip up this beautiful paella. All right, so this is the pan for 30 or 40, but Virginio makes it up to 60 people. Is that the top?
Oh, 200 to...
200?
I can go to 200.
You can go to 200.
But
oh my gosh.
Two and two, three at the same time.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. And your parents were Spanish?
Yes.
Both your parents?
Both.
But you have a very French accent.
Because I was born there.
You were born in France?
Yes.
With Spanish parents?
Yes.
I see. Oh, what a great background.
From La Mancha.
Oh, from La Mancha. Well, I'm going to let you get to work. I'm going to jump in the shower. Okay, everything is ready. It is looking so pretty. All the tables are set. We've got the candles. We've got the votives. All we need to do is just set them and light those little bubbles. I just kind of want to light them so that they're done and we don't have to think about it, and put the little fairy lights on. All right, it is time. Pencils down. We are getting ready for party time. So we are going to set this cheese board up. My daughter is dying to do it. So the fig leaves did hold out by the end of the week. So we put those in the center. Then I love to put just some grapes, one red grape and one green grape, just to add a little interest. I also thought they would be refreshing. Then we put a little manchego, a little blue cheese, some goat cheese, and a fromage dauphinois. And I did the same exact thing on the other board. And then meanwhile, the helpers arrived and they just set those tables right up. And it looked so beautiful with the napkins and the plates. And then Virginio had swung into action and he started to just sear off all of the chicken. So I had chosen the chicken and vegetable paella, but he also does seafood and all other kinds of combinations. I just thought for the kids, they probably would like the chicken a bit better. Look at that. Have you ever seen so many chicken wings? It was amazing. Then once the chicken is seared, he then adds the broth and the rice and flavors the rice with a dry ham from Spain. And that's what it looks like. Oh, that looks amazing.
I cut that smaller.
And that is going in here.
Yes, to give a flavor, an extra flavor.
Oh, yum. Well, I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to stay right out of your way because this looks amazing. Then I could see a few guests starting to arrive, so I went to go set out the cheese boards. We created one for each side of the table. I thought that should hold everybody. Bravo, my sweet. And then my daughter piled it high with all of her favorite crackers. I think it's more important that children learn to participate in the entertaining than to worry about everything being perfect. Okay, guests are arriving, so I am going to sign off for a little bit and enjoy my guests. After a lovely cocktail hour, it was time to get the gazpacho soup ready, and for this we would need an assembly line. So I grabbed my daughter and a friend and we went to work. The pitchers worked out perfectly for pouring the soup, and then we each took a garnish and went to work. So we put the cucumbers, the radish, a little bit of dill, and really in a matter of minutes, 32 servings ready to go. It looked so pretty with all the soup at everybody's place and the shrimp on the table in the terracotta. The lights were twinkling and really dinner was ready to go. Okay, before we actually call the guests though, I think I should check in with Virginio and see how he's doing. All right, I think we're ready with the paella. Oh my gosh, Virginio, look at this. This is a tour de force. What a masterpiece. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. It's almost too pretty to like destroy on the platters.
Yes.
Oh, that is just lovely. All right, so we are clearing the gazpacho and then we are gonna come here with our platters. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And look at how delicious it smells.
Yes.
With the chorizo.
Very good.
Thank you, bravo.
The chicken is going to melt.
It's going to melt in your mouth, the
Yes,
chicken.
Yes.
That is so
The bone
fantastic.
is comfy chicken.
Bien fait. Super. Okay, we'll be back. All right, we have our platters. We are ready. So everybody sat down and enjoyed the gazpacho. There was plenty of room for people to move around. It was a little hot, but it wasn't terribly so. I'm so glad that we were able to get this little seating situation to work out. Okay, it is ready to serve. I think one of the ways to make a very large party feel more intimate is to serve things family style. There's something about passing large platters of food, people talking with each other, taking as much food as they want, or taking seconds that just feels so homey and familiar. After the main course was finished, it was so much fun to just move around the party. My husband was able to visit with friends he hadn't seen in months, and it just was such a lovely evening. And then it was time to bring the cake. So pièce montée is made out of choux pastries. So imagine a cream puff and then filled with delicious vanilla pastry cream. And the whole thing is covered in caramel. And that's how it's held together. So it can be a little bit of a challenge to serve. So usually whoever's serving it might just take it off with their hands using gloves. Or you can also use 2 spoons if you have a bit of strength, but you don't want to destroy the whole thing. So sometimes I just think the hands are better. And each person usually gets 2 to 3 choux, and it makes for a really lovely dessert. Well, and these are really the only videos I have from the party because we were too busy having such a good time. Many of the guests stayed well past midnight. It was worth all the time and effort because really at the end of the day, my husband had a total blast. And now it's time to clean it all up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you got some great ideas for your own parties. All right, you guys, I'll see you back here next time. Until then, bye.